Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridham ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Nitya Kishore Devi.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna, Dandavat. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to
Hare
see you
Bol.
again. How are you doing?
Nice to see you too. Damodar, Kartika.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
The
now
weather.
you're all happy. Gauranga.
Goranga, Goranga. Okay, so we're going to put the verse on the screen, and then you may start.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Deving Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam 1:10:36. Tatra tatra hatatriyair hari pratyudyutarhana sayam beje disham paschad gavistogam gatastada. Tatra tatra, at different places. Ha, it so happened. Tatra tatratyai, tatratyai, correct. By local inhabitants. Hari, the personality of Godhead. Pratyudyuta arhana, being offered presentations and worshipful regards. Sayam, the evening. Bheje, having overtaken. Disham, direction. Paschat, western. Gavista, the sun in the sky. Gam, to the ocean. Gata, having gone. Tada, at the time. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed, worshipped, and given various presentations in the evening. In all places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. This was regularly observed after sunset. Purport. It is said here that the Lord observed the religious principles regularly while he was on the journey. There are certain philosophical speculations that even the Lord is under the obligations of fruitive action. But actually, this is not the case. He does not depend on the action of any good or bad work. Since the Lord is absolute, everything done by him is good for everyone. But when he descends to the earth, he acts for the protection of the devotees and for the annihilation of the impious non-devotees. Although he has no obligatory duty, still he does everything so that others may follow. That is the way of factual teaching. One must act properly himself and teach the same to others. Otherwise, no one will accept one's blind teaching. He is himself the awarder of fruitive results. He is self-sufficient, and yet he acts according to the rulings of the revealed scripture in order to teach us the process. If he does not do so, the common man may go wrong. But in the advanced stage, when one can understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, one does not try to imitate him. This is not possible. The Lord in human society does what is duty for everyone, but sometimes he does something extraordinary and not to be imitated by the living being. His acts of evening prayer, as stated herein, must be followed by the living being, but it's not possible to follow his mountain lifting or dancing with the gopis. One cannot imitate the sun, which can exhaust water even from a filthy place. The most powerful can do something which is all good, but our imitation of such acts will put us into endless difficulty. Therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of progress will be assured. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the first canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavata, entitled Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyanam Janam Shalakaya Chakshurmiritan Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtan Stapitan Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Vanchakalpaturubhescha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very, very much for your invitation. I'm so happy to be with you again, speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the best friend, as Sanatana Goswami says. Srimad Bhagavatam, my best friend. He loved it so much, Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's amazing to be here with you all. And now we were talking about Krishna going back to Dwaraka after the battle, the Kurukshetra finished. So he's going back, going through places, crossing mountains, and it is so wonderful to see how the Lord is walking in this world like a human being. And but Prabhupada in the purport is very clear about who is the Lord. So it's very important and very incredible that Bhakti Yoga is the process which can really describe who is God. So you can't find it anywhere else. Such concept, such explanation, such clarity. Prabhupada is explaining, some speculators, they say, look, when God comes here, he's under the obligations. And Prabhupada said, no, he's never under anything. He's independent. He's Swarat. So the pure devotee can say that, emphatically say, like strongly, boldly say, who is the Lord, what's the position of Krishna, and what's the position of the living entity. Prabhupada is separating here. This is very clear here. This is called Sambandha. It's also very important. Satyanandana Swami, in all these books, Harinama Chintamani, they say, before you chanting, it's so important to understand Sambandha. The first thing is Sambandha, and then Abhideya, and then Prayojan. And what does Sambandha mean? It's a very, very very simple concept. Who am I and who is the Lord? What's my position? What's the Lord's position? So here in the purport, Prabhupada is telling, look, Krishna, he is not under any obligation, but he does so because he's kind. He's kind. with all living entities. So I'm doing so you also can do. Like a father, a brother, like a well-wisher, like a very kind person. I think Krishna's qualities and it should touch us. Krishna's qualities should melt us. Why he does? He has no obligation, and we are so small, and still he does. And why he does? Because he is gentle, because he's lovely, because he's kind, because he's merciful. So these Krishna's qualities are very important for us to meditate, so we can come closer to Krishna. Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Namna. Guna, qualities, Rupa, form, and Namna. If various Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Namna, the various names, qualities. Then form, and then what? The names. First, guna. So when we hear Srila Prabhupada explaining about what Krishna is thinking, how he acts, for example, before Krishna went to Dwaraka, what he did, he killed Jarasandha. Okay? He didn't kill Jarasandha. He killed Jarasandha's army. And the last battle, he was alone in Mathura. He transferred all the inhabitants of Mathura to Dwaraka. He made Dwaraka for the inhabitants of Mathura. And Krishna, he was alone in Mathura waiting for Jarasandha. Okay, and he has no shoes, and he had a garland of lotus, and he had no shoes, and he was alone waiting for Jarasandha. So this is very, very interesting when you stop and you meditate and what's really happening here, what Krishna is doing, how he's doing. So in the Bhagavatam explaining that Krishna was his mission. He came to kill all the demons. So why he had 18 battles with Jarasandha? Because Jarasandha was gathering all the evil people, bringing to Mathura to fight Krishna. And Krishna was thinking, why should I go behind all these demons? Let Jarasandha bring them here, and I killed them here. Krishna was killing the whole army, but never killed Jarasandha. Why? Because Jarasandha was gathering all the demons. So Krishna's the fulfillment of his pastimes was going on. So he decided not to kill Jarasandha, but kill the army. So he's a genius, and he is very practical. So this is all Krishna's qualities. He's practical. He's a demon. He's practical. He's dynamic. He is intelligent. He's a genius. So this is all Krishna's qualities for meditating. How he does things, the way he thinks, the way how he treats his devotees, how he does his obligations, how he acts. This is for us to think about guna. So when we meditate on Krishna's qualities, Krishna becomes real, not something out there in the spiritual world. We don't have access and we don't know anything about it. And we are trying, but we never know what he will do, because he's the God and he's the controller, and then he can punish you. Are we thinking, oh, Krishna is teaching me by punishing me? We think so many things, That's not true about Krishna. The main thing, but we don't speak so much about Krishna's qualities, Krishna's kindness, Krishna's renunciation, like he's so renounced. He created this material world because we want another place to come without him. And then he's so cool. He says, okay, you don't want to stay with me? No, really. And he said, okay, you go another place. You want to go? Okay, so you go. Like, my God, although he loves us, he gives us freedom and small independence. We have a lot to learn with the Lord. We are not like that. We are possessive with our wives, husbands, kids. We love somebody, we want them to stay with us. Otherwise, we get angry, we get upset. And Krishna, he does not. He's not like that. He creates the material world because we want to be here. We want to be the Ishwaras. This is our desire. And he says, okay, go and satisfy our desire. And then sometime you say, oh, Krishna, I want to go back to you. Okay, please come back. I also want you to come back. So what kind of person is this person? And why? The point is, when we are talking about love of Krishna, love for Krishna, love for Krishna, but then if we don't know who is Krishna, there is no question of love Krishna. It should be very clear for us. You can't love somebody just because the Shastra says that you should love. Just because somebody else is saying that you should love because you should love. This doesn't exist. It's just artificial. We are not being honest. We are being artificial. Yeah, okay, I have to love. So then you say, Krishna Prema, I want to develop Krishna Prema because the goal of life is Krishna, like a parrot. What is that, Krishna Prema? For God's sake. We speak like parrots. Krishna Prema, yeah, I have to develop Krishna Prema. So if I develop Krishna Prema, then I will be free from birth, death, disease, blah, 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 blah. We just repeat this like a parrot. What is that? What does it mean? But what we don't hear so much is about Krishna's qualities. And I'm telling you, this is completely artificial. You can't love somebody that you don't know. And how you love somebody? By knowing first his qualities. So knowing Krishna's qualities is very important. It's a very important step for loving Krishna for real. We can't speak about Krishna Prema without understanding Krishna's qualities and how he reciprocates with his devotees. Like once Lokanatha Maharaj said, we only speak about how to love Krishna, that we have to love Krishna, that we have to blah, blah. He said, we forget to say that Krishna loves us. We forget that. We don't remember that. We don't say that. That Krishna loves us. And he showed it. He showed his love by his actions many, many times. So this is a very important point to keep in our hearts, to keep in our minds that Krishna loves us, and we cannot develop love without knowing who is Krishna. And we have to meditate in Krishna's qualities. Anytime we hear about Krishna, how Krishna smile, how is his smile, how he's talking to Arjuna, the way he talks. Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking to Haridas Thakur, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is treating Rupa Goswami, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is answering questions to Sanatana Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was living in Navadvip here. I live 500 meters from Yoga Pit. So this was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house, and he was living there with his mother and his wife and the servant Ishwar. And his family, his father, he was living there. So this was his house, how he was dealing. You know, Lokanatha Goswami, Burgaba Goswami, they were very intimate friends of Lord Chaitanya, very intimate associates, and nobody knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking sannyas. But Burgaba Goswami, Burgaba and Lokanatha, they knew, they came to know in their hearts. So they came to Navadvipa before Mahaprabhu left. So they had a meeting, Gadadhar Pandit, Lokanatha Goswami, Burgaba Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Lokanatha Goswami and Burgaba to go to Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was many times sending clothes to Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to visit, to see, to have darshan of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami when they were working for the Muslim government, to see them, to talk to them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very kind and very aware of devotees' needs, and he was giving everybody a duty too. So when we hear that, that's where our meditation should be, like directed to where, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he was dealing with everyone, how he was preaching, or he is the Sankirtan Pitaru Gornitai, the father of Sankirtan, what he was doing, how he was doing. So this is the way for us to develop love. Love is not such a mechanical thing. It's not an order. It's not an order. It's a feeling, the deep feeling of attachment that has to be, it has to be developed. But if you don't know the object of love, that's impossible. It doesn't make any sense. So in these purports, we can take advantage of this purport that Prabhupada is telling the difference between us and the Lord. And we have to understand this difference, our relationship, and how Krishna is acting. Sometimes Krishna is not under our how can I say, analysis. He's not under our analysis from our material intelligence. What Jiva Goswami said in 10th canto, Prabhupada mentioned Jiva Goswami in the 10th canto, and then Jiva Goswami said that Krishna is Achyuta. Krishna Achintya, beyond Chinta. Chinta means intelligence. So he said, if you can understand God with your intelligence, he's not God. Because God cannot be understood with your material intelligence. That's Jiva Goswami's statement. This is 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the way to go. We feel attraction to Krishna by his qualities, and then he will reveal to us who is he through the mercy of the spiritual master. Okay? So nice, this amazing. Also, Prabhupada is telling here that we should teach by example, and this is very interesting too. Prabhupada said, first you do yourself, then you teach others. You don't practice yourself, how you can say? Actually, the point is, there is no value or there is no strength in one's teachings when they don't practice what they're saying. In any field, what you speak about Bhakti Yoga. And then he said also that we cannot imitate Krishna, that his activities, some of them are extraordinary. So Prabhupada said, yeah, okay, you can follow this, but what about the other ones, the extraordinary things that he can do, how you can follow? You understand? So Srila Prabhupada, he is here challenging. He's challenging the the Mayavadis and the atheists, like, okay, you are telling that Krishna is under the obligation of material world, of material things. So are you sure about that? Prabhupada said, but actually this is not the case. Amazing. Love that. Okay, so if you have any question, please post here. Any questions or comments, it's a pleasure for me to reply. And we can continue. We can talk a little bit about Kartika because now is Damodar. I hope you here offering your lamps and get so much mercy. This is the month of mercy, Radharani's month, and this is very important for us to observe and worship Krishna because he's very merciful now, and Radharani also very merciful. And this is the time where when we meditate in Krishna's qualities more and more, especially as a kid, as a naughty kid, Damodar. It's amazing pastimes. And the most important personality here, is Mother Yashoda. So there is a lot of Vatsalya rasa, the importance of Mother Yashoda in Krishna Lila, and the love between Yashoda and Krishna. This meditation, and when you hear about that, your heart becomes warm. Your heart becomes your meditation. Your meditation in the love and relationship between Krishna and Yashoda. I learned that when I was in Vrindavan. I was in Vrindavan doing Vrajamandala Parikrama for many years. I didn't go anymore because of the pandemic, but this year I want to be there for some days. And we go to different places, and every day you hear about Krishna. Every day you hear Krishna Lila. How many years I was going and then listen to this pastime for 3 days, 3 evenings. We were hearing this pastime about Krishna. Actually, Radharamana Maharaj said that this day when Krishna, he broke the butter pots, this day was the first day that Krishna was he woke up by himself, because usually he was not before. It was the first day, because Mother Yashoda used to sing a song for him to wake up, and then this song is Hindi, and then it is say Uti. Uti means wake up. So the song is Uti Uti Gopala. And then in Parikrama, we all sing this. Uti Uti Gopala means wake up, Gopala. But that day, Mother Yashoda didn't sing that because he woke up by himself. That's the day. So then there is a lot of interaction and a lot of feelings between Mother Yashoda and Krishna, and she wants to make sure that she said, no, my son will not be a thief. My son will not misbehave. This is my duty. I have to correct my son. He cannot be a bad person. So she's completely like inside the emotion of being Krishna's mother, completely absorbed. This is a full meditation. She's nobody else. She is the mother, and Krishna became the son, fully, completely. This is all Yoga Maya, Yoga Maya makes all these feelings, endeavor, environment, so that Krishna's devotees and Krishna, they can fully absorb themselves in the Lila. So Mother Yashoda is not a living entity. She is the mom, okay? And Krishna is the son. This is the reason why he was so afraid. So in the book, in Damodar book, where Bhakti Purushottam Swami explains about what is happening and what the Acharya says about that, he said how that the Mayavadis, they ask, this is Param Brahma, God, and he's crying and he's afraid. So there is a contradiction there. How the Param Brahma, the control of everything, the creator of everything, why he's afraid and why he's crying. So this is Damodar Lila. How it comes to that, to that covering of a Yoga Maya for Krishna to enjoy, fully enjoy, the role of a real son. And the taste, our Vaishnavism says, if he cannot do that, how he is God? God is supposed to do anything and everything. So why Param Brahma cannot cry? There is nothing that Param Brahma cannot do. That's the discussion, philosophical discussion of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and the Mayavadis. So it's a big, big thing, this pastime, this relationship between Krishna and Mother Yashoda. She is completely sure that he is my son and I will correct him today. Because he's naughty, he can't do that. I don't want him to be a thief. I don't want to be a bad guy. I have to correct him. She was so determined, so desperate to correct, and she did. And it's so she tied him, and he was there crying, and his friends came, and Balaram came, and when Balaram saw him like in trouble, like crying, Mother Yashoda was not there. She went inside the house and stay here. Told Krishna, stay here, and he was just crying. And Balaram came and he said, I am Ananta, I am the best, I am all powerful. Who did this to you? Tell me, who is he? Who is he? I'll kill you. I will do this, I'll do that. And then Krishna said, Mommy, she did that. And then Balaram stepped back and said, oh, Mommy, Mom, she did that? And then he said, yes, she did. And he was crying. And then Balaram told him, I told you to stop doing all the nonsense that you were doing. I told you to stop. I am so sorry. I cannot do anything to help. And both of them started to cry. The mother is mother. If it was somebody else, you do anything, but Mother Yashoda, she has the authority. Cannot do anything about that. She's the authority. So both were crying. It's a very amazing pastime, very amazing meditation. What's going on here? So all devotees completely absorbed in that lila, And Krishna manifesting, why is so famous? Why is so touching? Because Krishna is manifesting the most sweet surrender to the devotee's love. Okay, you are my devotee and you want to be the role of my mom. Okay, I will be the best son with everything. I will make you upset. I will make you angry. I will make you happy. I will make you blissful. Everything, because this is mother's role. Everything, all emotions you live with your son. It's not like this is a perfect person and then everything is perfect. No, you become upset. You become angry. You become worried. You suffer. Everything is there. So they are fully enjoying in a pure platform of love. If pure, they are enjoying. It's very incredible, very incredible. So this meditation, Krishna's qualities, how he is and how he does things and how he reciprocates with this with his devotees, the gopis. So all these, they're astonishing, amazing, incredible, and coordinated by Purnamasi under his control. Now we do that, and then he lost himself in thoughts of love and surrender, and he's entering in Lila, Okay, I think I'll give you guys time to comment and, make some questions.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Nitya Kishore Devi.
Haribo.
Beautiful class.
Thank you.
It's always so beautiful, heartwarming hearing about the qualities and the pastimes of Shri Krishna.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Dear devotees, you can raise up your hand by using the emoji, and then we'll ask you to unmute and you ask your question. Mother Vijay, Srila Prabhupada was so, this is like the first class that I seem not to have questioned from the text, because Srila Prabhupada explained everything so deep and yet so simple that one may not even have any question to ask, because we have lots of impersonalists who claim that because Krishna came here and the text says Krishna was performing all these rites and rituals, so they think that Krishna is also subject to material laws and disciplines. But Srila Prabhupada is saying, no, it's just doing it just to teach us so that we will know what to do. Now, my question is, how do we know what Krishna is doing to teach us that we also have to do it? And then things that Krishna is doing that is not meant for us to also do, because he's the Supreme Lord. There are certain things only he can do, we cannot do. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for your observation and question. So Prabhupada said in the purport that this discrimination would be given to us by Guru. This is a very important point. We don't know exactly the Shastras. We cannot understand directly. We can understand through Guru. So this is the reason why before repeating any concept or before say something about a subject, a spiritual subject, we think about what Prabhupada is saying about that subject. For example, when somebody asks to me, what's Kirtan? So Prabhupada has an answer for that. He said, Kirtan means describe. So this is the reason why book distribution is also called Kirtan. Kirtan means describe qualities, describe a person. So that's Prabhupada's answer about the word Kirtan. So anything, when we understand, like Prabhupada's telling here very clear, well, there's something that Krishna is not, first of all, Krishna is not under the control of fruitive activities or any obligation. He does what he wants. And what he does, that Prabhupada said, because he's teaching by example, but not everything you can follow, because sometimes he does something extraordinary. And how you can discriminate? By listening to Guru. Prabhupada said, you cannot dance the danceress. We cannot dance like Krishna. You cannot have 16,000, more than 16,000 wives like Krishna. Yeah, but Krishna was chanting Gayatri every evening. So then you chant Gayatri every evening. It's not like 2 + 2. We have to have a guru to tell us what you have to do and what you don't have to do. Guru is the person, is the directly representative in the parampara. So this is the way to go. Guru Shastra Sadhu.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have Kala Rupa Prabhu, hands up. Prabhu, you may unmute and ask your question.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for your wonderful class.
Thank you.
My question is, how can we take the best advantage of hearing Krishna pastimes?
Very good question. Best advantage by hearing Krishna's pastimes. I want to say something that maybe will be useful for all of us that are readers. We should not try to memorize things. We don't need that. And I hear sometimes people saying that they say, I couldn't understand, so I don't move forward. I read the same thing again and again and again. And then I tell them, this is not, your understanding will not come by reading again and again and again. Your understanding will come by mercy and purification. So your purification is to read. So you just move forward with your reading. You just move. The same concepts will be repeated in Bhagavatam many times in different ways. And you can read Bhagavatam 1, 2, 3 times. I read Bhagavatam twice. So you go on and then you come back again. The point is, you will remember even if you didn't try to memorize, because it's not a point of material memory. According to the Shastra, the knowledge is already there inside our heart. The point is that we are covered, isn't it? Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahavadagnini nirvapana. Isn't it? Cheto darpana marjana. And the heart is covered by dust of forgetfulness and ignorance. So by cleaning their hearts, we will remember who we are. The spiritual knowledge will manifest. So reading is Shravanam. So read is a practice. Read is a practice. So you don't have to memorize, you just have to move forward. And then when you reach Krishna Lila, how to take advantage of Krishna's pastimes. I told in the class that one way to take advantage and to deepen your relationship with Krishna is to meditate in his qualities. You know, you just read something about Krishna and then you can go deep in your heart and think how merciful, how gentle, how kind, how genius, how wonderful. I'll tell you another pastime. Krishna was in the chariot going from Vrindavan to Mathura with Akrura. And Akrura, he went to take bath in the Jamuna and chant Gayatri, and Krishna Balaram stayed in the chariot. So Akrura went to Vrindavan to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura for the fighting with an invitation from Kansa. Okay, so on the way he stopped to take bath in the river. So he dived in Jamuna river. Inside Jamuna, he saw Krishna and Balaram. Okay, but Krishna and Balaram was in the chariot, but he saw them inside the water, and he saw all all the incarnations and manifestations, and he was astonished. So he chanted the Gayatri, and he stood up, and he was like, wow, what is this? What I just saw. He was like he was scary. So he was scared. He went to the chariot, and Krishna asked him, have you seen something wonderful in the sky, in the land, or in the water? And he started to laugh with Balaram. So Krishna knew that Akrura saw him inside the water. And then he came out of the water. Krishna was asking him, have you seen something wonderful? And then he didn't reply anything. He was so nervous, and Krishna was laughing. So what kind of person is this person? You know, that he's like that. So this is the best way to take advantage, by meditating Krishna's qualities one by one that you hear. How wonderful. So this way, you deepen your relationship with Krishna, and Krishna Prema will become a reality for you. Why? Because by knowing Krishna, you for sure will develop love for Krishna by knowing him, because he is wonderful.
Thank you so much for that answer. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Well, I will have a question for a better clarification.
Yes.
I won't mention name because this person is a very popular person, but he said something which I believe it's not
Okay.
right. So I want to ask you, and then maybe you can throw more light for the benefit of all devotees. And that is, this person once said that Mother Yashoda, Mother Yashoda had some sort of envy towards Radharani because Radharani was getting so much of Krishna's attention, which I believe that cannot be true. But my question is, what was the relationship between Mother Yashoda, Radharani, and Krishna's queens? If you can share some pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So I can assure you that what you heard is not truth. Is very much speculation. All
Yeah.
the pastimes tells that Yashoda loved Shrimati Radharani. And of course, Shrimati Radharani was suffering so much by her mother-in-law, Jatila and Kutila, and sister-in-law, not by my mother Yashoda. But Mother Yashoda always loved that Radharani was cooking, giving Radharani a chance to cook for Krishna. Always very sweet things between Radharani and Mother Yashoda. But if you talk about Radharani and the queens, well, according to our scriptures, Radharani, all the queens and Lakshmis are manifestation of Radharani, because they all come from Hladini Shakti, and Radharani is the personification of Hladini Shakti. And then all females partners are they all Radharani's expansion. But not talking about Krishna Radharani relationship, but Nanda Maharaj, no, Vasudev, not Nanda Maharaj, Vasudeva and the inhabitants of Dwarka, they didn't give permission to Krishna to visit Vrindavan because they knew the relationship that Krishna had with all the Gopas, Gopis, and the father and mother of Vrindavan was very, very deep. And they were afraid that Krishna would not come back. So Krishna never got permission. But Krishna went back to Vrindavan. After so many years, he went to Mathura to kill Dantavakra. He went from Vrindavan, from Dwarka to Mathura to kill Dantavakra. And then he made the plan in his head to go back to Vrindavan. And then in the Bhagavatam says that Krishna went to Vrindavan, and from Vrindavan, he went back to spiritual world with all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and who came back to Dwarka was not Krishna, but Vasudeva. That's Bhagavatam. Okay, so we should be very much like careful to only hear authorized Krishna Lila. No, it's to be very, very careful, like from the Goswamis and translated by bona fide people, and Goswamis like Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami describes the spiritual world in Gopala Champu. It's a very, very special, incredible book. You want to know the spiritual world, you read Gopala Champu. What is happening in the spiritual world exactly? How is that shaped? What people does that? how they, I'll tell you on pastime now, Krishna's pastime. There is a Krishna's moon birthday, some party like that, because in the spiritual world they have parties all the time. So they had this party, and then but Krishna, and then Krishna was there, and Nanda Maharaj told him, "You stay here because your relatives are coming, and then you have to greet them and exchange love with them, stay with them, blah blah blah." So Krishna was there with all the elders and his friends, and Nanda Maharaj said, "Don't worry about the cows. Somebody's going with the cows. Please don't worry about the cows." Krishna is Gopal, always worry about the cows. Then, yeah, so then Krishna, and then, okay, they were there, and then the party was kind of like going to the end. And then Krishna says to Nanda Maharaj, Papa, I'm going to see the cows, okay? And he told my mother Yasuda too, I'm going to see the cows. And then Mother Yasuda told him, why are you going? And then he said, I have to go, Mama. I'm sorry. And then she said, okay. And then she was blessing him. But then another gopis, old gopis, they told Krishna, why are you going and leave your mom? Your real mother is Yashoda, not those cows. This is your mom. And then Krishna, he looked down, and then some tears came from his eyes, and then he said, I'm so sorry, but the problem is they are animals. The cows, they're animals. They don't know anything, so if they don't see us, they don't eat, so I have to go. That's Gopalachampu. That's Gopalachampu. Sorry, but if they don't see us, they don't eat because they're animals. They don't understand. That's Krishna in Vrindavan with Mother Yashoda and the cows. So how somebody's heart is not melting by that? So, but this is Gopala Champa, and this is Jiva Goswami, and this is Banu Maharaj's translation. So we should be very careful what we read and from whom we are hearing about Krishna Lila. But if it's authorized, and then we already read Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam established the theism in our heart, because, we are atheists. What we are Kali Yuga people, Kalo Shudra Sambhava, worse than Shudra. So we are atheists, so we don't have faith, neither knowledge. So what Bhagavatam established the theism in our heart, first of all, and then we go to Krishna Lila after that. You understand? After the theism is established, you have the foundation to understand this is God. This is how God is. His friends. There is another nature beyond the material nature that's eternal. So first, we have to understand this fully by Guru's mercy, by service, by chanting, by study, by going to parikrama every day, wake up in the morning and take a bath, cold bath, and then purify yourself. And then when you hear that Krishna is worrying about the cows because they're animals and they don't understand, so if they don't see Krishna and Balaram, they don't eat the grass, and he's concerned about the cows, so he has to go. When you hear that, you don't think this is such a story, maybe like some crazy thing. No, you understand, wow, there is another reality, and in this reality, this is what happened. So first of all, we have to have the foundation of theism in our hearts. Then we go through Krishna Lila. But it's always good. Now, this time of the year, is good to hear Krishna Lila, no matter what, because so much mercy is there. So we are able to feel in our heart something, even if we don't have total foundation, because this is the month of mercy. This is the month Damodara month is for that.
Thank you
Okay?
so much. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Does anyone else have any question?
Yeah, it's
Otherwise,
a little bit here. Yeah,
okay.
tell me.
Well, I wanted to find out, it is described in the scriptures that this material world is like a prison yard. So we are all prisoners. And so just like when you have a loved one in the prison and you are staying outside, you think of your loved one in the prison and you try to find ways that you could get him out of the prison. So my question is, the liberated souls in the spiritual world, do they sometimes look down upon us down here and feel pity for us and try to figure out how they're going to get us out of this prison yard to come back to our original home, the spiritual world? Hare Krishna.
Okay. No, I didn't understand the second part. First you tell that you're asking me, but sometimes they're thinking about us, how to liberate us. That part I understood. The second part I didn't understand.
Well, okay, what I was trying to say is, just as when we have a loved one in the prisons, we try to figure out a way of getting them out of the prisons. So the liberated souls in the spiritual world, do they also sometimes look down here and try to figure out, feel pity for us, feel sorry for us, and try to figure out how they could get us out of this prison yard so we can go back to the spiritual world?
Okay. Krishna sent somebody here for that. That spiritual master. That's the guru. Krishna comes in the form of the guru. And Kali Kale Namarupa Krishna avatar. He is also here through his name, according to the Shastra. Kali Kale Namarupa Krishna avatar. Kali Kale. In the time of Kali Yuga, Namarupe, in the form of the name Krishna, but Krishna comes, okay? But I never read in any of those books that in spiritual world, the spiritual souls are thinking about the conditioned souls here in the material world. They're not thinking about that. They are not doing that. Sorry to say, they don't care. They don't care. You know the song, they don't care about us. But Krishna cares. Krishna cares. So Kali Kale Namarupa Krishna avatar, one thing. And secondly, he sent Guru. According to Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Krishna is the Guru. You know, really. He comes, you know, in the form of the spiritual master. Is he, nobody else that comes to rescue those who he wants to be rescued. This is his mentality. But I'm sorry to say, in spiritual, nobody cares. Nobody. So in spiritual world is like that. You know, according to the verse, there is a verse, Shri Kanta. This is Brahma Sahita. Let's see if I can recite this verse. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Brahma Drumis Chintamani Ganamaito Yamamritam Katagana Natyam Gamanamapi Vamshi Priyasaki Chidanandan Jyoti Paramapi Tadaswadamapicha Sayatrak Shradvi Saravi Tasta Somahan Nimesharda Kyova Vrajati Nahiyatra Pisamayaha Vajeshweta Dvipantamahamiha Golo Kamitiyam Vidantaste Shantak Shiti Virala Charakatipaye. This is a verse that Brahma recites, explaining what's the material world, what's the spiritual world. So that Kata Gana Natyam Gamanamapi Vamshi Priyasaki, where the Flute is the best friend. Vanshi Priyasaki, where the step is a dance and the word is a song. That's spiritual word. Okay? Chintamani, Ganamaito, the water is nectar. So this is the spiritual word. They have no time for thinking about what's happening there in the Mahatattva, you know? And it's very small place, also like a prison. Like, you know, it's a very good example. We're here, so there is a prison in Krishnanagar. I'm here in Mayapur, and Krishnanagar is like 30 minutes from here by motorbike. Sometimes I go, okay? There is a prison there. So I never think about what they're doing in the prison, when they are taking out and why they are there. I don't care. So the same. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
So,
Happy Kartika for everyone. And
yeah,
thank you
happy
very much
Kartika.
for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here talking to you. Thank you very much for supporting me and tolerating me. Thank you.
No. We really appreciate you having you and sharing lots of Krishna's pastimes with us. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Radhe.
So, dear devotees, in absence of further questions, I think we may all unmute and then we chant Big Hare Krishna. To express our appreciation.
It's outside is fine.
Radhakunda. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare
My humble obeisances, Mataji.
I will business to you too.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm honored.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to see you.
Okay,
Nice
so
to see you too.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Her Grace Nitya Kishore ki Jai.
Haribol.
Hare
Todos
Krishna.
nós, Shila Prabhupada. Jai Shri
Ki
Radha.
Jai.
Haribol.
Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. So you all have a wonderful weekend, and by Guru Krishna's grace, we'll meet again next week. Hare Krishna.